All right, friends, Greg Meriwether back here with you. We're in the First Alert area talking with our Liam Combs, who has been reporting on the ground there in Kirk County, Texas. It's, of course, one of the hardest hit areas. Liam, we wanted to chat with you here just a little bit, kind of pick your brain about what's going on the ground there. I know in covering some of these disasters sometimes, the news when they show up, they show like the small little area that's been affected, but I'm starting to get the realization from some of your reporting that this is a lot more widespread than we might even think.
Well, yeah, Greg, I mean, I'm standing right here on the bank of the Guadalupe River outside of Center Point, but 40 miles both north and south has been ravaged by this flood. And again, real quick, I wanted to plug Texas Strong. I got this hat from the first responders today. I wanted to encourage people to go out and donate. There's links in our bio and on our website for the recovery effort. But this tragedy, every first responder that I've talked to today has said that this tragedy and this flood is one of the worst that they've ever seen. And of course, that missing person toll is at 160 right now. If you add that with the number of confirmed dead, these first responders say in their experience, they think that number is going to breach 500 when it's all said and done. Greg?
I noticed in your reporting earlier, one of the Cajun Navy guys was talking about that he, to try to deal with some of this, just kind of talks out loud to people or, pulls people in close together. I wonder what the emotional toll is there. Obviously, a lot of people you probably come into contact with are probably in shock at this point, even still.
There's a lot of shock, that's for sure. And I mean, I get on the camera with somebody and, it's this kind of barrier and friction of media, coming into these conversations. And then I just talk to them like a normal person and the wall starts to break down. And that's just been a humbling and harrowing experience. I mean, you saw Chaplain Tony Dickey and earlier in this show and, just breaking down. He has to go in and talk to those families who have lost loved ones or loved ones are still missing under this debris here. I mean, it's making me emotional, honestly, Greg, and it's really hard to put yourself in the shoes of the people that have lost lives, especially in the media. I mean, we get so desensitized by this kind of stuff.
We do indeed, and one of the things that we've always learned through a lot of this is that the people, they need us, not just the media, but they need our neighbors to come in and help them. So I was thinking about that with the Cajun Navy. We saw a lot of this with Katrina. If you waited around on a government agency, you'd be waiting a long time. But people like the churches and those kind of things, they bust through that red tape. The United Cajun Navy has done a phenomenal job just in the last few years in that. What has been the reaction to some of our Texas neighbors seeing the Louisiana folks coming on in?
Well, that's a great point. I want to touch on the red tape because, look, I couldn't even get out with our Louisiana first responders today, not because of any fault of their own, but the Texas State Emergency Response is putting basically a chain link on media coverage embedded with teams like this. And so being able to come down here with the United Cajun Navy and be on the ground as they are uncovering and recovering bodies is just astonishing again. And I want to touch on the red tape as well. First responders I talk to that say that when the media comes in here and starts talking about who's to blame for this and whatnot, that just completely distracts from the work that's actually being done to save and recover the missing people and the remaining people. So it's important for me to keep in mind as well as the people at home, to come into these spaces with empathy, not only for those lives lost, but also for those first responders.
Yeah, at this point, people just need to be hugged on and listened to, not even talked at, just listened to. They're right there in the thick of all of it. We certainly appreciate your reporting. The Texas Strong group, that was new to me. The hat is very nice. And those proceeds, I guess, are going to support the folks there. That's what you were saying?
Yeah, I believe the actual organization is Wild Knox, but when I was in Kerrville this morning talking to Chaplain Tony Dickey, he was out there talking to all the organizers. I believe they were next to the Red Cross, and so they gave me a hat. Just wanted to plug them and talk about all of the ways that people who are watching right now can go and donate. Of course, we have thousands of first responders out here right now, but there are still areas that need to be filled, and the United Cajun Navy is doing everything they can to fill those gaps.
Liam, I was kind of touched by that chaplain's interview. I mean, here's somebody that talks to people and does it for a living is not the right way to say it, but it's his calling. You know, he's a man that's close to God, and he was having trouble with this. So I can only imagine that was a good glimpse into what people are actually feeling out there.
Absolutely, Greg. And again, I mean, when the walls start to come down, the emotions flood out, and I'm right there with them in all this. And it's, again, a really humbling experience. And talking to the first responders, again, who are, you know, uncovering these bodies, I mean, it's just, again, astonishing, the work that they're doing. You know, I was talking to a few of them, and all they say is that, you know, we have to keep it light around here. We have to be telling jokes. We have to be sitting around the barbecue pit cooking food. You know, paramedics are bringing out IVs. Vitamedics is the company there that's working on that effort to help these first responders. I mean, it's, you know, 90 degrees out here with you know, humidity, so it's hot. It's an all of the above effort, and again, you have to fortify your mind. And to be in a community like this, I mean, again, I'm astonished by the destruction, but also humbled and just amazed by the work that people are doing here. There are heroes in this world, that's for sure.
They are indeed. Very well said. You know, in these disasters, they're always reminded that, you know, usually a clip of Mr. Rogers comes around, and it's what to tell your kids in a situation like this. And he says, when you see a disaster or something just horrific, look for the helpers in the situation, and that gets you through. And you've done a phenomenal job of showing us those helpers. And we know people here at home want to be able to help, so we're doing the special that comes up this Friday at 6:30 right here on Channel 9. You'll be able to hear some of these stories and really get some of the behind-the-scenes look at what's going on there. So that's this Friday at 6:30. And then also, of course, if you want to help, you can donate money. Money is always the best way to get things in. It's good to send clothes and water and all those type of things, but money gets through, and the folks there on the ground can use it. And we've partnered with the Salvation Army. I know from working with the Salvation Army here, the money stays local. It doesn't go to a national organization and then they kind of filter it back down. It stays there, and they're able to literally help people. So when you give money, it's going to touch the folks there in Texas. You could do that by going to together4tx.com, together4tx.com.